Have you ever felt like life was supposed to mean more than just getting through the day? Like there's something you were meant to remember, but somehow forgot? Maybe you've had this quiet feeling deep inside you that there's a bigger story, one no one ever told you, about who you are, why you're here, and what your soul came to do. Maybe it's not confusion. Maybe it's a memory, waiting to rise again. That subtle ache in your chest, the restlessness you feel in quiet moments, the way your heart seems to ache when you see something beautiful or hear something that touches your soul. It's not random. It's a signal, a soft whisper from a deeper part of you that still remembers. Even if your mind doesn't know what it's searching for, your heart does. You've probably felt it before, like something's missing from the way life was explained to you, as if the rules you were taught aren't the real ones, like a piece of your story was erased before you got here, and you've been trying to understand yourself without all the pages. You're not wrong to feel this way. That sense of there must be more is real, and once you start following it, everything starts to change. Over 1,200 years ago, a group of quiet, wise souls wrote down a truth so deep and powerful that it was hidden from the world for centuries. This ancient manuscript didn't talk about rules or fear. It didn't try to control people. It simply told the truth about what your soul does before you are born, why you chose this life, what you hope to learn, what you came here to remember. That wisdom was erased from history because it gave people too much power, the power to remember they were never just helpless passengers in this life. They were the ones who chose the path. And now, that truth is rising again. According to that sacred knowledge, before you were born, your soul went through a powerful process. It wasn't random. You weren't just dropped here. You were part of something beautiful, something thoughtful, something sacred. Your soul went through stages, real steps where you made deep choices about who you would become. Those decisions shaped every part of your life, your personality, your struggles, your strengths, your gifts, and the people you would meet. You didn't come here by accident. You came here on purpose, with purpose. Before you took your first breath, your soul felt something. A pull, a soft call from the heart of existence itself. It wasn't a voice or a command, it was more like music, gentle, wordless, and full of love. That sound reached across time and space, touching you in the deepest part of who you are. And when you heard it, you remembered. You remembered that it was time. Time to grow again. Time to live another life. Time to return to Earth not because you had to, but because your soul was ready. And you said yes. That yes is why you're here. Even now, that call still lives in you. You can feel it when something beautiful moves you to tears for no reason. When you're lying in bed wondering if there's more. When you're staring at the stars or feeling the wind and something inside you aches, even though you can't explain why. That ache is your soul remembering. Before coming here, you didn't just say yes. You looked back first. You saw your past, not just the last life, but all of them. You saw the patterns, the choices, the moments of love, and the moments of pain. You didn't judge yourself. You didn't feel guilt the way we feel it here. You felt clarity. You saw what your actions created, for better or worse. If you hurt someone, you felt what they felt, not to suffer, but to understand. If you healed someone, you felt their peace. If you inspired someone, You felt their hope rise. Every action was shown to you through the eyes of love. This wasn't punishment. It was learning. Your soul wanted to grow, and the only way to grow was to see clearly. And then came the part where you didn't have to do it alone. You were not left in the dark to plan your next life by yourself. You were surrounded by loving beings, souls who have walked with you for lifetimes. They met with you in a place filled with peace and light. Together, you looked at your journey. You talked about what your soul still wanted to learn, what still needed to be healed, what strengths you wanted to build. They didn't tell you what to do. They helped you remember what you already knew. And with their help, you began to plan. You chose your body, your culture, your family, your exact moment in time. You chose what challenges would help you grow. You chose the people you'd meet, those who would support you, and even those who would break your heart. Because somehow you knew that even those who would hurt you would help you remember your strength. Some of them are here to open your heart. Others are here to break it open, so the light can get in. Your soul didn't avoid difficulty. It understood that pain can shape wisdom, that loss can awaken love, that struggle can reveal power. Everything you chose was done with full awareness and deep love. Even the hardest parts, especially the hardest parts. But the most important moment came when you chose your purpose. And yes, you chose one. Every soul does. Before you came here, you decided what lesson you most wanted to learn in this life, what truth you wanted to embody, what light you wanted to bring. It might be to heal a deep wound from many lifetimes, or to break a family pattern, or to awaken something sacred in others. It might be to show others love, even when life gets dark, or to become someone your younger self could never have imagined. It could be a quiet mission, or a bold one, but either way, it is yours, and only you can live it. If you've ever felt lost or empty, it's not because you have no purpose. It's because you're still remembering it. And remembering doesn't happen all at once. It comes in pieces, in quiet moments, in the pull you feel towards something you can't explain, that tug in your chest, that hunger for meaning. That's your purpose trying to speak through the noise. And the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. You didn't come here without a plan. You didn't come here without support. You didn't come here without power. You came here as a soul who was brave enough to forget everything, just to remember it again through experience. You knew it wouldn't be easy, but you also knew you were strong enough to walk through it. So if life feels like a mess right now, if you feel like you're off track or too far gone, stop and breathe. You're not lost. You're in the middle of the journey your soul chose long ago. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every moment of confusion is part of that path. You came here to feel, to grow, to become, and you are doing exactly that. You don't have to have it all figured out. You only have to keep listening to that quiet voice within you, the one that still remembers who you are, the one that never forgot, the one that knows you were never here by accident. You're here on purpose. And now, slowly, you're starting to remember why. Sometimes, we go through life feeling like something is missing, like we were meant for something more, but can't quite remember what it is. The truth is, the answers you're searching for have always been inside of you. Your purpose isn't something hidden far away, waiting for you to stumble upon it. It's already within you, quietly trying to speak through your deepest feelings, longings, and experiences. One of the most powerful ways to start remembering why you are here is to notice what truly moves you. Pay attention to what touches your heart in ways you can't explain. Think about the things that light up your spirit, that bring you energy and excitement, that make you feel fully alive even when no one else understands it. Ask yourself, what situation stirs something in my soul? What problems in the world make me wish I could help? What would I gladly do, even if no one ever thanked me or gave me anything for it? These aren't just nice thoughts. They are clues. They are signs from within, pointing you back to the reason your soul chose to come here in the first place. Your true purpose is not out there, somewhere far away. It's not something lost that you have to chase. It's more like a quiet flame that's been gently burning in your heart since before you were born. And that flame is still there, waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to feed it. Another powerful clue to your purpose can be found in your hardest challenges. Think about the struggles that keep showing up in your life, the pain you've had to face again and again. These aren't random. They're not punishments. They are parts of your journey. In fact, they often hold the seed of your greatest power. Sometimes, what hurt you the most is exactly what you came here to understand and heal, not only in yourself, but in others. Your deepest wounds can become your greatest gifts if you choose to look at them through the eyes of your soul instead of the lens of pain. That shift in perspective can change everything. Before you were born, your soul didn't just suddenly appear in a body without direction. You made choices, deep, meaningful choices. While many people believe that life is just chance, that we are thrown into random families, born in random bodies, living in random places, there is a much deeper truth. Long before you took your first breath, your soul was awake. You could see clearly. You were shown different options. You saw different paths, different families, different bodies, different timelines. And you chose. You chose the life that would help your soul grow the most. You didn't choose the easiest one. You chose the one with the lessons your soul needed most in this lifetime. It might be hard to believe, especially if your life has been full of pain or struggle. Why would anyone choose a life filled with abandonment, illness, rejection, or poverty? It may sound impossible or even cruel, but your soul doesn't think the way the human mind does. It doesn't judge experiences as good or bad. It sees everything as a tool for growth. Your soul saw the bigger picture. It saw that what looks like suffering on the surface can lead to deep wisdom, strength, and transformation. So it chose the path that would shape you into someone capable of carrying light, even in darkness. You didn't choose your parents because they were perfect. You chose them because of what their souls could offer you, even if it came through pain. Maybe you chose them to learn forgiveness. Maybe it was to break long cycles of trauma that had been passed down through your family line. Maybe you chose them so you could become strong by overcoming what they could not. Every relationship, even the difficult ones, has a purpose. Even if it was painful, there was a reason. The same goes for your body. You chose your body too. Whether your body came with physical beauty, illness, ability, limitation, or strength, it was all chosen by you. Every detail was picked with care because it would help you carry out your life purpose. When you realize this, something shifts. The feeling of being a victim starts to fade. You begin to see your story with new eyes. What once felt like injustice starts to look like a powerful lesson. What once felt like betrayal starts to become a moment of soul growth. Even the people who hurt you may have played roles that you agreed upon together before you were born. Roles that would help you become who you were meant to be. And in that realization, something beautiful happens. You begin to see that your life has always had meaning, even the painful parts, even the moments when you felt forgotten or broken. There was purpose in all of it. After you made your soul's choices, there came a moment when you crossed something called the veil of forgetfulness. It's what makes us forget everything we knew before we were born. In your soul form, you remembered everything: your past lives, your soul family, your purpose. You felt deeply connected to everything. You were clear. You were full of love and truth. But when it came time to be born as a human, you chose to forget it all. You passed through the veil and left behind your soul's memory, not as a punishment, not as a curse, but as a part of the plan. You see, if you were born remembering everything, the human experience would lose its depth. It would be like reading a story when you already know the ending. There would be no discovery, no growth, no adventure. So you were born with a clean slate, a blank page. This is what makes the journey real. It's what makes every step you take meaningful. The veil allows you to feel doubt, to feel fear, to feel lost, so that when you find your way, you find it truly. When you choose to love, to trust, to believe, it's not because you remember. It's because your soul is strong enough to choose it even in the dark. This is why you don't remember sitting with your soul family. This is why you don't remember choosing your life. This is why you've often felt confused or like you didn't belong. The veil made sure you would live your life from scratch. But the veil isn't perfect. There are moments when it thins, when you dream, when you meditate, when you have a strong feeling that you can't explain. In those moments, your soul is trying to speak. It's trying to remind you of who you really are. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that it's been doing this all along. Every quiet whisper in your heart, every strange longing, every gut feeling you've ever had, it's all your soul calling you back. You can start remembering right now. You don't have to wait. Every time you sit in silence, every time you breathe deeply, every time you follow your intuition instead of fear, you start to open the doorway between your human mind and your soul's truth. You start to feel the light inside you again. You begin to realize that you are more than your body, more than your name, more than your past. You are eternal. You are powerful. And you have always been guided. The moment you were born was one of the bravest acts your soul has ever done. You left a place of peace, of clarity, of love, and you stepped into a world of confusion and limits. You entered a small, fragile body and became someone who would have to grow and remember everything from the beginning. That is true courage. You agreed to live as a human, to forget who you are, and to find your way back, step by step. That is not weakness. That is strength beyond understanding. Even as a child, you carried pieces of memory. That's why children often say things that seem strange to adults, talking about past lives, or places they've never been but seem to know. But as we grow, the world tells us to stop imagining, to stop believing, to forget. Society teaches us to be realistic, to fit in, to ignore the voice inside us. And slowly, we do forget, but not completely. Your soul is still whispering. In moments of deep silence, sudden inspiration, or overwhelming emotion, it speaks again. It remembers the leap it took. It remembers the reason you came. And even if it's only for a few seconds, when you listen, you'll know you're exactly where you're meant to be. Still, you may wonder why this truth was hidden from you. Why didn't anyone teach us this? Why were we raised to feel small, powerless, and afraid? The reason is hard to face, but simple. Because people who remember their true power cannot be controlled. And for a long time, this world has been run by systems that rely on fear, guilt, and separation. If people truly knew they were eternal souls with purpose and power, those systems would fall apart. So the truth was buried. It was twisted, erased, or made to look silly. But it never disappeared. It still lives in ancient stories, in dreams, in the deepest part of your heart. And now it's waking up again. Through you. You have a choice now. You can go back to forgetting. You can go back to fear. Or you can step forward and live as the being you were always meant to be. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start listening again. Your soul is ready. It's been waiting for this moment. Remembering who you are is not something that happens in a flash. It's a journey. But every time you choose truth, every time you choose love, every time you choose courage, you move closer. You peel back the veil. You awaken the seed that's been sleeping, and your life begins to bloom in ways you never thought possible. You are not alone. Your soul, your higher self, the part of you that never forgets, it's all still here. It has never left you. It's been guiding you all along. And if something in you feels a spark right now, if something in your chest feels like it's rising, glowing, or remembering, then the awakening has already begun. You're not here by accident. You're here for a reason. And that reason is already inside of you. It always has been.